consumers increasingly expect brands to take stances on big issues of today, especially something as uniformly accepted as sustainability or social change. In a transparent world, younger consumers don't distinguish between the ethics of a brand, the consumer that holds it or the company that owns it, and its network of partners and shareholders. A company's actions have to match its ideals. And those ideals must permeate the entire stakeholder system. Generation Z consumers are mostly well educated about brands, and when we don't know what a brand stands for or how a brand operates, we are very likely to try and find out. Once you have a clear idea of entrepreneurship, digital campfires, and the transformational forces affecting consumerism, it's time to start branding. So, idea branding starts with three things. The first is storyboarding, head to paper. Write your idea down on a piece of paper. But every day, for 30 straight days, add a post-it note or a small piece of paper to your idea. This is going to force you to, as I said at the beginning of my talk, deepen, shape, and hone your idea, so you really have a clear understanding of what your idea is, and therefore how to develop it. The second key tip is to form an idea board of directors. Now this is a group of people of different ages and life experiences, some of which could be in this room, who really understand and want to help you with your idea. Remember, you meet with this idea board of directors, and you listen, you take notes, you ask them for their advice. Force yourself to meet with them at least once a month, because it means that you'll be forced to do your homework before you see them next. Finally, form your elevator pitch. The concept of why, how, and what was coined by Simon Sinek, and I absolutely love it. Make why the first thing, because that is the most important. Your why is your passion. How are you going to do it? And then, what is it? That you should be able to say that in the time of an elevator ride. Personal branding. Basically, a personal brand is simply how you promote yourself. It's a unique combination of your skills, your life experiences, and your personality. Company and personal brands are very limited these days. So starting a company, company and personal brands are very linked these days. So starting a company without developing your personal brand is only really doing half the work. Everyone is now able to produce very scalable content very quickly. So if you're putting out any social media, you're putting yourself out there to be judged and have opinions formed on you. So let's make sure that that's the good opinion that you want to have. Secondly, everyone is promoting themselves via social media. If people can see it, they can form opinions on you, as I said. And now finally, clients and consumers will without a doubt check your social media. So let's make sure they check your LinkedIn, which looks very professional, as opposed to something that looks less professional. Now finally, I want to say start doing a few of these things. I think it's really important to be able to determine and prioritize your values and your passions. It's absolutely crucial. Define your key traits, develop your personal image, define your target audience, build up your online presence as much as possible, start putting out your brand out there on a consistent basis. The key word there is consistency. And finally, follow people who have a super strong brand so you can learn from their accounts. How can you get all this done while in school? And even can you? Well, the answer is yes. In most cases, people are only in school for, at least in my case, 7 months of the year, and they're out of school for 5 months of the year. So you definitely have enough time to develop your ideas. But when it comes to time management, there are 3 key pieces of advice that I want to give. The first and most important one is definitely scheduling. You have to know what you're going to do. You're going to have to know what you do before it happens, every single day. Because if you don't know what you're going to do on a certain day, you're going to get nothing done. Now, when you're scheduling, it's important to take into account 2 separate things. Firstly, your priorities, whether that be your school, in my case music or working out, or your hobbies or your passions. Prioritize what you want to spend the most time on. And then finally, balance. You need to have a certain level of balance. Because if you don't schedule in just free time to do nothing, you're really going to wear yourself dry, and it's going to be unsuccessful and unproductive. So remember, schedule in your priorities and balance. Prioritize what you do, and you can do what you love. So here are some of the things that I learned just to finish off my talk today. Don't fear failure, but be terrified of regret. It's much cheaper to live a failure than to live in a life full of regret. Example of this would be Starbucks. Starbucks is a cafe with sofas and chairs in it. And I'm willing to bet a lot of money that someone was standing in a cafe line saying, I wish there were sofas and chairs here. Everyone had the idea for Starbucks, but one person executed on the idea of Starbucks. One person didn't fear failure, and they followed through with their idea, and everyone else is now living a lifetime of regret. And I don't think that's worth it. The final thing I want to say is if you treat your idea like a dream today, you'll have a dream tomorrow. But if you treat your idea like a company today, you'll have a company tomorrow. That talks about that mental shift that you have to make in order to really drive your ideas forward. Now just to finish off, ask yourself, one day or day one? Thank you very much for listening. I really hope you appreciated this. It was an absolute honour to speak to you today, and I hope you learned. We've got about 15 minutes left, but I don't want to keep you from lunch because I know the previous session ran over. So if there's any questions immediately, then I'd be happy to take them. If not, thank you very much.
It was inspiring. Thank you so much. Inspiring speech. For all of us, for all the audience who's watching us here in the venue or watching